John is so sweet. He was placed into the morning shift at a time when there were no other men, and he put up with a lot of women chatter. He also is full of gratitude.
Well, actually, I've been incarcerated for 21 years. I didn't think I had a chance to have a better life until I met Mr. TJ and come to the Seed Restaurant. The people here are really understanding and helpful, and brought me in with no ill feelings or questions asked or anything like that. So I am blessed to be here. It's like being born again.
There's people all throughout this restaurant who are testimonies. Mary, we sometimes talk about people who we're helping. Oh, Mary helps us. Mary is a great example of she brings light. We call her Miracle Mary. She's an incredibly strong person.
I was 42nd Street, New York City. I mean, if you can imagine back in the 70s, a lot of crazy stuff, rapes and robberies and kidnappings and stabbings, and I went through it all. I used to travel all over, going from state to state to figure things out. And I wound up here when I was 18 and I stayed. I worked on Kalakaua, I worked on Kuhio, that was a big circle from Lures into Kailani. I worked there for over 30 years. It was awful. If I could explain it in a couple words, I was a living corpse. I've had all the jewels and all the cars and all the glamour, so they say. I was broken inside and I didn't know what to do. I was stuck. I didn't believe that people cared enough to let me in or trust. Then one day I woke up just bawling and crying, and I went to a health center and asked for help. And then there were these church people, they were called church angels, the red light angels, and they would come out there in the streets and go tend to the girls and try to help them in whatever way they could, or whatever way they let them. And there was this little tiny Japanese lady that always would come near me, and I'm like, oh gosh, here comes the church people, and I'd kind of run. But I also whispered in her ear, don't give up on me. And it took almost a year more after, and then we started talking to each other. I actually invited her to my home, which I don't do to anybody, and I went to church, and that's when I wound up here. And at first they'll tell you, I stayed in the kitchen washing dishes because I didn't want to deal with any because I didn't know how to. I had social issues, believe that. And they're like, you have all this energy that's good at, go out there, and now I'm out here and I can't get rid of me. I'm working double shifts. I love my job. I invited some of the girls to come and have my birthday dinner here. And of course they were a little reluctant because they are church people like I did. And they came. So that's the first step. They enjoyed it. They've been here a few times since then. So it's a start. They could see there is another life after all that. There are good people out there. Well, what I would like to do is help these young girls that are in prostitution or sex trafficking. Give them hope, give them a chance. And if they see grandma can do it, then they can do it.
David Kiernan is a guy that renewed his faith, came to the Lord by listening to Blue Water Mission's sermons online. He lived in San Diego at the time. And then he began corresponding with me about what an encouragement our ministry was to him. For years, we did not meet. And then I was speaking at a conference in San Diego one weekend, and he showed up and introduced himself. His background is as a catering chef for rock band tours. And he had cooked in other restaurants. He had a lot of cooking background, but that arena, cooking for rock tours, fairly dark and spiritually fatiguing. So he had gotten out of that. I said, would you be interested in moving to Honolulu and being a chef in this crazy justice restaurant that we're doing? He said, yes. He flew out, I picked him up at the airport. I drove him from the airport to the restaurant. He put on an apron and started cooking immediately before unpacking his suitcase. That was our soft opening. And he's been in the restaurant ever since.
The experience has been great. I initially foresaw myself contributing a lot and helping a lot, and I wasn't really considering the fact that that I would be receiving so much from the venture. My wife also cooks here, and she is amazing. I had a catering company that I would use on the side for smaller stuff. She would help me in those catering ventures. That's pretty much all the experience that she had in a kitchen, and we needed somebody in the morning, and she just randomly one morning just said, I'll do it, I'll go and do it. And so she came in and she killed it. I mean, I don't want to say that I didn't think that she could, but I didn't see it going as well as it did. Just everything that she makes is so absolutely delicious.
David and Alicia are amazing. We do feel like they were godsends to us. They have a huge heart, and David in particular, the way that he shepherds the kitchen staff, I mean, I see folks really coming up under his leadership. He's taken folks without a lot of background in this, and he has a way of coming alongside and in a very big brotherly way, motivating them forward. He really believes in people.
Well, the food is great. It's healthy and it's made fresh. And you come in here with a smile, you might be a little down or something, but when you leave here, you have a whole brighter day because you had a good meal, good atmosphere, the waitresses are terrific, the chefs, they do their best what they can cook for you. And it's all around a very good place, and I hope everybody come and try it for themselves.